Welcome to the Knights of Thanos. This is gonna be me reacting to or doing like a commentary of the Avengers Assemble, or Avengers as it's known in the rest of the world. And this is the 50th time I'm watching this, so it's now starting. So like the Suicide Squad one, if you ever are watching the Avengers and you want to listen to this, you probably don't, but if you do, one of my most vivid cinema memories is going and seeing this, and it's like one of my favorite movies. Like I said, I've seen it 50 times. Oh, this is the 50th, and it's just really enjoyable and really good. I still prefer Age of Ultron and Civil War, which are my favorite two Avenger films so far, but I obviously love this film. So this is what really introduced the Tesseract, which looks like it'll be playing a big part in Infinity War, which I'm of course seeing tonight. And I watched this 2 or 3 weeks ago because I've watched all the films in chronological order, but I decided to come back and watch it for the 50th time. Today I'm seeing Infinity War. Agent Coulson! As of last time, I'm going to be got my tablet here so I can read any comments that go up. So this is a part that I really liked in the cinema, as you want the villain to have a big entrance, and Loki does it perfectly. Comic book girl, I look like Steve Rogers. Thank you. I need a bigger shield though, because I've only got my frisbee. As I understand, Jeremy Renner was annoyed at how little Hawkeye's part was, but I really like that because you need someone to get Black Widow in, which is what he did, which is kind of reverse of comics and comic book movies in general, where it's the woman in danger and the man goes to save them, and it's the other way around. It's about to be the bit where Loki comes in dramatically. I really like how whenever Loki is in the first Thor movie or this one, and in some respects, for like, well, people don't know how to react to him, and I find that really funny and really enjoy it. And the score in this by I've just had a mind blank. He did Justice League as well. Danny Elfman is phenomenal, but James Silvestri is doing the music for Infinity War, who did the first Avenger music, and that is my personal favorite music. Pro Pasty Pete. I just love Loki's arrogance in this movie and in the movies in general. And yes, Pro Pasty Pete, it is less than 12 hours to go until I'm seeing Infinity War. I got the posh jelly beans, by the way, Pro Pasty Pete. And I got the tickets for this evening as well. I just love how there's this bit when Maria Hill just starts shooting at them, and then later on when Fury tries to shoot down a jet with a pistol. I just love those bits. Yeah, it's none of that cheap shit. It's proper jelly beans I've got ready for this evening. Going full out this evening. Or tonight, or tomorrow morning, however you want to look at it. Phil, I'm going to be mentioning this a lot, but I love Phil Coulson. This is one of the bits, like, they're trying to move the Tesseract, but the building's collapsing, and then Coulson's like, no, go, and trying to get people to safety, which is just the core of his character, trying to protect people, as it comes evident later on in the film. I should always be going out on jelly beans. It's about to be one of the bits when I first saw this at cinema, when people started talking in the audience, like one person in a minute when the helicopter crashes, was like, "Is Nick Fury immortal?" And then I laughed. technically he can't age, but he in the comics. I don't know if they're ever going to do anything like that in the films, but he can die, like you or me. Yes, whoa, Stephen, I'm taking it you're referring to the fact that this is the 50th time I've actually watched this. I've seen Jurassic Park, the first one, more than this. And I think probably Lion King as well, but this isn't. Whoa! Every time I hear the music, I just get so excited. I hope they keep it, or they do what they did with Age of Ultron with the music when they slightly changed it and made it more triumphant, because that's what I want in the music. I want it to be like when it's sad, feel the punch, but then it builds up, builds up, builds up, builds up, and then it pays off with the triumphant team music. I have a Russian friend, and they told me that her pronunciation and everything is completely off in this scene, which isn't that so bad thing, as most people can't tell unless you speak Russian. What I like with what they did with the Black Widow character in this and Age of Ultron is that they don't tell you her backstory, but they like give little hints, and like this scene, and also when she's talking to Loki when he's in the capsule later on, and then in the flashback dream bit in Age of Ultron. I really like that, and that's why I'm kind of worried that they've now announced that the Black Widow solo movie is going to be a prequel, because I really think the character should have mystery, and I would have unless it's something to do with the Winter Soldier, as I've said, I want Winter Soldier to be very heavily involved in the film. Not to take away from her, obviously, but just for them to work together, because they work so well in the comics, and I'm sure they will in the films as well. And this is just a really good example of the wit that Joss Whedon does absolutely brilliant if you watch Firefly or Buffy, and it's done really well in a team context like this. And especially when they get together, he's brilliant at dialogue. But that's what completely different. The tone is going to be different between is 137 minutes long, so about 2 hours 17 minutes. Fun fact, Infinity War is the second longest Marvel film. Only by 10... Civil War is only 10 seconds longer, and that's why Civil War is the longest Marvel film. I've said this before, but with Bruce Banner, in a solo movie context, Ed Norton is absolutely perfect, but in a team movie, Mark Ruffalo just is he's perfect. Yes, I will slay them, Stephen. If my room wasn't a total mess, I would be able to do this, and I have way more stuff. But this is in my living room, so I just brought my poster for my room down and put my stuff. And people say that the romance between Romanov and Bruce Banner came out of nowhere, but it is built up in this scene and throughout this film. And I've had no problem with it in Age of Ultron, and I thought it was really good at adding an extra layer to Bruce Banner, which goes on really well into Ragnarok and hopefully into Infinity War. This must be really weird to watch, me watching this. I really like how they tie S.H.I.E.L.D. into the whole of this phase, because it's very subtle. Like, S.H.I.E.L.D. plays a part in even Captain America, and I really like how that all builds up to S.H.I.E.L.D. basically putting the Avengers together in this film. Gideon Malik. Powers Booth's character, who's in the World Security Council, is the only one of 4 characters to go from the films into the TV series, but not many people know that. People obviously know Phil Coulson, Fury, and Maria Hill, but he's on the World Security Council in this, and he is a head of Hydra in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 3. I just love Samuel Jackson's performance in this film. Mm-hmm. No, it's won by soldiers. And now my all-time favourite Avenger. Not character, like I've explained before, but Avenger. As he is, and I know he's not the first Avenger in the comics, but technically 4 is even in the films. But I get why they did it, as he is the first Avenger. as he is the prototype of the Avengers, as so good, is because they balance the different ideologies of the Avengers between Stark's point of view of what the Avengers are and should be.
Celebrating, seeing the world.
And I said this in the video I made the other day about the Avengers and Captain America, but I just love that his heart and what he stands for and everything.
Some very recent. Okay, with the mission, sir? I am. Trying to get me back in the world? Trying to save it. I had your secret weapon. Howard Stark fished that out of the ocean when he was looking for you. He thought what we think. The Tesseract could be the key to unlimited, sustainable energy. That's something the world sorely needs. We took it from you. You followed Loki. He's not going around. There's a lot we'll have to bring you up to speed on if you're in. The world has gotten even stranger than you already know. At this point, I doubt anything will surprise me. $10 says you're wrong. There's a debriefing packet waiting for you back at your apartment. Is there anything you can tell us about the Tesseract?
And also about my love for Captain America. If you couldn't tell by my onesie, poster, and shield, I have so much stuff of his. Like, there was one point where there wasn't a single my whole room is covered in Marvel posters. There was a point where there wasn't a single one. One minor criticism of this film is that it focuses too much on Iron Man, in my opinion. And it's like, it's less, like, it's about 40% his film rather than rather than it being 100% an Avengers film. Like, if you think about it, Civil War is 50% a Captain America film, 40% a Captain America film. I mean, 10% an Iron Man film, and then 50% an Avengers film. That's why I always class Civil War as an Avengers film, because it is an Avengers film, but it focuses more on Captain America. Like, this one focuses more on Iron Man. Like, and Infinity War is probably focusing more on Thor, I think it is, which I'm perfectly fine with, because he's my second favorite Avenger. Until Iron Spider becomes an Avenger.
Levels are holding steady, I think. Of course they are. I was directly involved. Which brings me to my next question. How does it feel to be a genius? Well, I really wouldn't know. What do you mean? All this. All this. Give yourself some credit. Please. Stark Tower is your baby. Give yourself 12%.
This is what I mean by the humor in it, and Joss Whedon's way of building it up. Now a time in the film when Phil Coulson dies. Sad. Spoilers if you haven't seen it, but it's been out for 6 years. 6 years. Now, I'm going in the exact same screen. I've been every Avengers film I've seen, apart from Civil War, because I didn't get to see it in IMAX the first time I watched it, but I did the second time. Phil Coulson! Woo!
I don't like the things.
I love to begin. So let's try it.
Opening hours are between 8 and 5 every other Thursday. This is the consultation.
Is this about the Avengers? I know nothing about it.
The Avengers initiative was scrapped. I thought, and I didn't really qualify.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah, apparently I'm volatile, self-obsessed, play well with others.
That I did know.
That I did know.
This isn't about personality profiles anymore. Whatever. His thoughts? Yes, sir.
But just the way that they build the film up is just when the payoff and you see them all in the room, it's just,
I thought we were
like I said, it's same with the music, I still get goosebumps every time. It's just brilliant. In the video clips they showed, they had Norton Hulk, which is brilliant. And Stephen Doe just... Doe, I mean, sorry. I've been watching me John videos. Stephen Doe just commented saying that, or a while back, that he would have, if there was a solo Hulk movie, would have Ed Norton's Hulk. And that would be brilliant, having them in the same universe, but two different actors playing it. Yes, it has happened for characters like War Machine, but he meant at basically the same time. And Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., just a quick comment on that. How it ties into this with like the characters I said brought in throughout all the 3 or 4 or 5 seasons. And then it's the cellist, which ties into season 1. It's just the whole building up is really good. Oh, this would be me if I met Captain America. No, if I met Captain America, I'd have Ant-Man's reaction.
the world's first superhero.
But I would fanboy out, kind of like Coulson. I'd be between Coulson and Ant-Man.
Not so much. He's not that thing though, guys like a Stephen Hawking. He's like a smart person. I gotta say it. It's an honor to meet you. Officially. I sort of met you. I wanted to while you were sleeping. I was present while you were unconscious from the ice. You know, it's just a huge honor to have you on board. I hope I'm doing the job. What do you want? Absolutely. We made some modifications to the uniform. I had a little design input. Uniform? With the stars and stripes and old fashioned. Everything that's happening, the things that are about to come to light, people might just need a little old fashioned.
As I've said in previous videos, my favourite MCU characters are Coulson and Captain America, and that's always been one of my favourite scenes since I first saw it, and always will be, because it starts off silly, but then it gets really personal, and it's just Captain America, and then it in the character of Captain America. And also just how it goes on before I love that bit when Ronan in Guardians of the Galaxy just snaps the other's neck using his hammer.
Defeat. I was a king. The rightful king of Asgard.
Nah.
Betrayed.
Keep turning this off, that mate. One improvement I'd make on this, not that it can be improved, but is having Thanos in this bit. Maybe not even seeing him, but having the throne turn and you seeing his back, and you don't know it's him until the after credit. Yeah, I don't even know if it's worth commenting on, but Tom Hiddleston's performance is brilliant. Like, each film, in my opinion, it gets better. Thor: The Dark World's my least favorite MCU film, but his performance in that I feel is better. And in each of the films he's in, his performance gets better, and I'm really looking forward to him in Infinity War. He is one of my favorite actors. But probably my top 10 favorite actors are all in the MCU now, since Tom Hardy's in Venom, which is probably in the MCU, and Benedict Cumberbatch, who's been my joint favorite actor since I was about 10. And Tom Hiddleston, who because of this, and then I watched his other stuff. But I have a massive appreciation for Tom Hiddleston as an actor and an artist.
There's quite a buzz around here finding the ice. Thought Coulson was going to swim. Did he ask you to sign his Captain America trading cards?
Oh.
They're vintage. He's heard of that.
Nothing matter.
What this does is it just shows that they're all normal people, which Joss Whedon does brilliantly. Like, they're all normal people, and once again, why I love Cap, he's just so respectful of Bruce Banner. It's like, he knows Bruce Banner doesn't want to be thought of as the guy that goes green, and he's just treats him as a scientist, which is what Banner wants, and he's always so thoughtful, which more people should be like. I remember when I would see this, another one of the times people spoke was when they were like, "Is this a submarine?" And loads of people, because it was a Saturday morning with tons of kids in, they were all like, "Is this a submarine? It was a submarine!" And then I was like, "Wait." And then my brother, Bob Janko, my brother, was next to me like, "Is it a submarine?" And I was like, "Wait and see." And it went up, and I wanted the helicarrier to be in it, so I was so happy when it was. Whee! The Samuel Jackson's just so cool. Another one of my
Thanks for asking nicely. So, how long am I staying?
Once we get our hands on the fifth ring, you're in.
Where are you with that? We're sweeping every wirelessly accessible camera on the planet. Cell phones, laptops. If it's connected to a satellite, it's eyes and ears for us.
I like how, like I was saying, the Russos are absolutely brilliant at building on other people's stuff. Like, Winter Soldier ties directly into that with them talking about tracking people and their phones, and also Phase 2 and stuff they're referring to throughout the whole of this film goes into the Winter Soldier, and the relationship between Cap and Black Widow is brilliant in how they're connected together. And like, I've no trouble believing that how the Russos are going to balance Guardians of the Galaxy, Thor and the Avengers, and did I say Guardians of the Galaxy and Avengers, all them together, and linking them all together and carrying on the stories from all three of them. I have no worries at all.
Okay, so you Agent Bond. My next target. Tell me what's your name. Need a distraction. An eyeball.
not too much trouble.
No, it's fine.
It's a vintage set. Took me a couple of years to collect them all. New mint. It's like boxing around the edges.
You got a hit. 67% match. Wait, cross match. 79%.
Location?
Stuttgart, Germany. 28 Königstrasse. He's not exactly right.
Yep. You're up.
I just love this bit of how Loki just walks in and then how they use the music in the scene with dramatic classical music, and then it's just when he does this bit is brilliant. And I really like the inventive way of doing it, because you usually just inspire me to scan it and then do it, but in this, you know, in a, which once again, Joss Whedon, what he does is that sort of humour. Most might not find it funny, but I have quite dark sense of humour, so I found that a bit funny. I'm not laughing at this. This is something that came through my head when you said Neil.
Is not this simpler? Is this not your natural state? It's the unspoken truth of humanity that you crave subjugation. The bright lure of freedom diminishes your life's joy in a mad scramble for power, for identity.
Once again, the deep philosophical threads that most people don't actually notice that go through this and most other Marvel movies, but through this one and into Age of Ultron are really good. Especially this bit, especially when Captain, this man here.
There are no men like me.
There are always men
There are
like
always
you.
men like me.
I've seen this film way too many times.
Look to your elder people. Let him be an example.
Captain America.
The last time I was in Germany, I saw a man standing above everybody else. We ended up disagreeing.
Wait.
This soldier.
He only punched him a few hundred times.
Man out of time. Not the one who's out of time.
Loki, drop the weapon and stand down.
People kind of say it's a movie mistake that in this bit, like, it looks like Black Widow's flying, and then later on, Steve goes, "Oh, can you fly?" And then Hawker goes, "I can." they never say she can't fly in that bit, and also there's another guy in the plane with her, and it looks like she's using the guns, so I don't think it really breaks the continuity of the film. If there's one thing Tony Stark does, is he does brilliant entrance things.
Mr. Stark. Captain. Saying anything?
The word.
Just get in here. Along. What? Rock Avengers giving us a reason? Still, you are pretty spry for an older film.
Then this also builds up to even Civil War and probably Infinity War, just this,
You might have
like he was saying earlier about the conflicting ideologies of the Avengers and what they are from this very beginning before they've even been formed.
What's the matter? Scared of a little lightning?
I'm not awfully fond on what follows. No, I read the line slightly wrong. If Bob was here, he'd be like, "You said it." We need a plan of attack. I have a plan. Attack.
We got the friendly? Doesn't matter. If he frees Loki or kills him, the test
Here it is.
lost. Stark,
We need a plan of attack. I have a plan. Attack. Said it a bit early. Still.
Sit this one out, Pat.
I'll see if I can.
These guys come from legend. They're basically gods.
There's only one guy, man.
And I'm pretty sure
You sure he doesn't dress like that?
I really like how they introduce more, because it's like in the comics when random characters just randomly turn up with hardly any explanation, and they do it in this, and it makes sense in the film, but comic book readers probably will accept it more that characters just come in and go because that's what happens in the comics.
Did you mourn? We all did. Our father. Your father. You think anyone's prepared to say no? We were raised together. We played together. We fought together. Do you remember none of that? I live in the shadow. Getting in the shade of your greatness. I remember you tossing me into an abyss. I was and should be in. So you take the world I love as recompense for your imagined smiles. No. The earth is under my protection.
Let's hope it is.
A marvelous job with that. Humans slaughter each other in droves while you idly pray.
I need to rule them.
Why should I not think yourself above them? Oh, yes. And you miss the truth of ruling, brother. Throne would suit you ill.
Like I said before, learning to become king, they do really well in this, with in the first Thor movie, him not being worthy, him becoming worthy to have Mjolnir, and then through this, and it's just all him learning to be king leading up to Thor Ragnarok. I'm so sad.
You need the cube to bring me home, but I've sent it off, I know not where. touch me again. Then don't take my son.
Shakespeare
You have no idea what you're doing.
in the Park.
Shakespeare in the Park? Doth mother know
Oh,
you weareth her
that's right.
drapes? This is beyond you, better now. Loki will face as guardian of justice. He gives up the cube, he's all yours. Until then, stay out of the way. Tourist. Okay.
Power full 100% capacity.
How about that?
That's as well. It's showing that they, with all odds, and I said this in why I love the Avengers, they shouldn't be together. They shouldn't work. But because they have to, they do. Because there's no one else. They have to band together to fight something. None of them would stand a chance of it. And this is in this one. So in Infinity War, when they're going up against the OG himself, Thanos, like, they really need to pull together. Even with guns against the loss.
That's enough.
It's going to be immense.
Now, I don't know what you plan on doing here. I've come here to put an end to Loki's schemes. And prove it. Put that hand down.
I'll put it down.
Bad call. He loves chances. You want me to put the hammer down?
And once again, Captain America bringing everyone together.
In case it's unclear, you try to escape, you so much as scratch that glass. 30,000 feet, face down in a steel trap. You get how that works? And boom.
Once again, Samuel Jackson's just so cool. He makes every line he says cool.
Not built that thing. I mean, built for something a lot stronger than you. All right.
This is really good, showing how Loki manipulates, but also manipulating him from the moment he's captured.
You threaten my world with war. You steal a force you can't hope to control. You talk about peace and you kill.
It's fun. You have made me very desperate.
You might not be glad that you did. meant to be reminded what real power is. Well, let me know if real power wants a magazine or something. So, or what's his play? He does it all.
I remember before this, people were speculating what in this. They went with Charlie, which is fine for me.
He's an astrophysicist. He's a friend.
Look, he has him under some kind of spell.
I also like how this blends the line of magic is just science we don't understand with them saying spell and stuff like that.
I care how you speak. Loki's beyond reason if he's a Asgard.
He's killed 80 people in 2 days. He's killed 80 people in 2 days. He's adopted.
I think it's about the mechanics. Iridium. What do they need the iridium for?
Stabilizing agent. Kobe can.
The stabilizing agent, and then Agent Coulson comes in because he stabilized the Avengers.
No hard feelings, Point Break. We gotta meet Swing. Also, means the portal can open as wide, stay open as long.
And even that one line there about Thor looking like Patrick Swayze in Point Break, it is called back in Ragnarok, which just.
Major component he still needs is a power source, a high energy density, something to kickstart the fusion.
When did you pick
Exams is having to read a book and then like, oh, I know it now.
He'd have to heat the cube to 120 million Kelvin just to break through the cool room barrier.
Unless somebody has figured out how to stabilize the quantum effect.
Well, if you could do that, you could achieve heavy ion fusion at any reactor on the planet.
So when he's fixing San Francisco. It's good to meet you. Your work on anti-electron collisions is unparalleled. I'm a huge fan of the way you lose control and turn into an enormous great rage monster.
Thanks.
Dr. Banner is only here to track the cube. I was hoping you might join him. Let's start with that stick it is. It may be magical, but it looks an awful lot like a hydro weapon. I don't know about
I also like how this
but it is
film
power
shows
that
Cap's
and I'd like to know how Loki
adjustment
uses it
to
turn
the
sharp
modern
into
world, which, like I said, ties into the other ones really well, and the Russos do perfectly time to this.
Understood that reference. Shall we play, Doctor? Precisely.
The gamma rays are definitely consistent with salvage parts of the tesseract. But it's going to take weeks to process.
If we bypass their mainframe and direct route to the Homer cluster, we can clock this in around 600 teraflops.
All I packed is a toothbrush.
You know, you should come by Star Tower sometime. Top 10 floors, all
The
R&D.
bromance
Love it.
begins.
Thanks, but the last time I was in New York, I kind of broke Carl.
Well, I promise you stress-free environment. Good pension. No surprises. Ow! Hey! Nothing. Are you nuts? Here's out. You really have got a lit on. Another jazz, popular drums, douchebag lead. Is everything a joke to you? Funny thing, threatening the safety of everyone on this ship is fun.
It's all right. I can come aboard if I can handle pointy things.
You're tiptoeing, big man. You need to strut. And you need to focus on the problems. You think I'm not? Why did you recall us? And why now? Why not before? What isn't he telling us? You can't do the equation unless I have all the variables. You think Fury's hiding something? This is fine. Captain, he's fine. He's had secrets. It's bugging him too, isn't it?
I just want to finish my work here.
Doctor?
I will warm light for all mankind. Loki's jab and Fury about the cube. Well, I think that was meant for you. Even if Barton didn't tell Loki about the tower, it's still all what you knew.
Start Tower. big ugly building in New York.
Powered by an
Bounce.
arc reactor, self-sustaining energy source. That building won't run itself for 1 year.
Perfect. I'm kind of the only needing clean energy right now. What do you say?
So why didn't Shield bring him in on this red carpet? What are they doing in the energy business in the first place?
I should probably look into that. My encryption program finishes breaking into all of S.H.I.E.L.D.'s secure files. Besides, did you say Jarvis has been running a simulated bridge? If you are
One thing though is Hal didn't start know about Hydra. I admit that flaw in this.
Intelligence organization that fears intelligence historically not awesome. I think Loki's trying to wind us up. This is a man who needs to start a war. If we don't stay focused, he'll succeed. We have orders. We should follow. Following Sam with myself. All about time.
And like I said earlier, the build-up of conflict between the two characters, even here when they didn't know Civil War was going to happen, it's brilliant.
That's the guy my dad never shut up about. Wondered if we should have kept him on ice.
Guys that wrong with Loki. He does have the jump levels.
What he's got is an acme dynamite kid. It's gonna blow up in his face. And I'm gonna be there when it does.
I'll read all about it.
Or you'll be suiting up with the rest of us.
And see, I don't miss it longer. I'm exposed. Like a nerve. It's a nightmare.
You know, I've got a cluster trap trying every second to crawl its way to my heart. This stops it. It's no circle of light. It's part of me. Not just on it. It's a terrible privilege.
But you can control.
Because I don't have to. Hey, I read all about your accident. That much gamma exposure should have killed you.
So you're saying that the whole the other guy saved my life? That's nice. It's a nice sentiment. Saved it from what?
Find out.
You mean not enjoy it?
You just might.
And this also shows when people complain about Cap saying he's a Boy Scout and does whatever he's told, never does anything independently. This shows that he's always, like I said, trying to do what's right, and his heart is always in the right place, in my opinion, at least.
As soon as Loki took the doctor, we moved Jane Foster. We've got an excellent observatory in Tromsø. She was asked to consult there.
Once again, how this ties into the other films is really good, in my opinion.
Very remote. Should be safe.
Thank you. It's no accident, though, he's taking that himself. Tread what he climbs for once it's done. I think he's a good man.
Talks about your mom. You changed his life. You changed everything around here.
They were better as they were. We pretend on Asgard that they're more advanced. We come here battling like Bildstein.
What?
Bildstein. You know,
Fun fact, there's a dead Bill Schnape in Ragnarok in this car junkyard bit just before Thor gets captured by Valkyrie.
They trample everything in their path. When I first came to Earth, Loki's rage followed me here, and your people paid the price. Now again. In my youth, I called to war. War hadn't started yet. You think we could make Loki tell us what the Tesseract is? I do not know. Loki's mind is far afield. It's not just power he craves, it's vengeance. on me. There's no paying the price you need for me. A lot of guys think that. The pain starts. What are you asking me to do? I'm asking, what are you prepared to do? Loki is a prisoner. And why do I feel like he's the only person on this boat that wants to be here?
I love how he still calls it a boat, but it's like it's normal.
There's not many people that can sneak up on me.
But you think you're really cool.
This is Bill's talking about when it flashes the character out.
I want to know what you think you are. And once you've won, once your kingdom mountain, what happens to his moment?
Is this not what
Love is for children.
I think that I'll say it after this
I
actually.
worked for shields. I made a name for myself. I have a very specific skill set. I didn't care if I used it for all. Your own shields were your own family. Agent Barton was sent to kill me. He made it difficult. Not really well.
But I like this. Your world in the balance, everybody to one man.
Machines fall every day. I tend not to lose over that emotion. It's really not that complicated. I got right in my ledger. I'd like to wipe it out.
Can you wipe out that much red? Break it off stores. Sao Paulo. The hospital fine. Barton told me everything. Your ledger is dripping. It's gushing red, and you think saving a man no more virtuous than yourself will change anything? This is the basest sentimentality. This is a child's prayer. Pathetic. You lie and kill. In the service of liars and killers. You pretend to be separate. You have your own code. Something that makes up for the horrors. But they're part of you. They will never go away. I won't touch Barton, not till I make it kill you. Slowly, intimately, in every way he knows you fear. And then he'll wake just long enough to see his good work. And when he screams, I'll split his skull. This is my bargain with you and Quim.
Monster.
Oh no. You call me monster.
So, Banner. That's your play.
As I was gonna say, it's really good. Like I said, Joss Whedon does really good female characters, and it's really good to see a really strong relationship between between a male and female characters that isn't sexual in any way or romantic, and just friendship. But they've still got great love between each other. I feel only Joss Whedon could have done that, and he does it really well. And fun fact, when you see RDJ eating in this and anything else in the film, it's because he hid food on all the sets without them knowing, and then he would just start eating.
We gathered everything related to the Tesseract. This does not mean that
I'm sorry, Nick. What were you like?
Rogers has throughout of government throughout the whole up until now in a really good way. Like I said, all of them tie so well together.
Cause of him. Me. level a small town. We learned that not only are we not alone, but we are hopelessly hilarious.
If they're hopelessly hilariously outgunned here, like I said earlier, how hopelessly hilariously outgunned are they going to be in Infinity War?
The world's filling up with people who can't be matched. They can't be controlled. Like you control the cube. Your work with the Tesseract is what drew Loki to it, and his allies. It is a signal to all the realms that the Earth is ready for a higher form of war. Higher form? We forced our hand. We had to come up with something. Nuclear deterrent. Because that always calms everything right now. Remind me again how you made your fortune start. I'm sure if you still made weapons, start with the next. Wait, hold on. How does this now about me? Isn't everything? I saw humans were orders.
After this scene, this part's going to end and then it's going to go into part 2. Just so you know.
You're on that list? Stocks? My girlfriend, respect.